Hello, yes, my name is Christopher Rivera. I'll be presenting my thesis or my topic. I'm an MS entrepreneurship student. My advisor is Professor Ganatise. So I'm here to present you my thesis, which is titled Assessing the Impact of Entrepreneurship and Information Technology Education of the Technopreneurial Inclination of 12th grade students of perpetual health. Okay. Okay, this would be a thesis where there would be a combination of two variables, entrepreneurship and information technology education of grade 12 students. Through this route, there's a possibility of inclination to technopreneurship, which is in chapter 2, in the somewhere in the last part of chapter 2 will be references or authors that expresses the combination of the two educations towards technopreneurship. So that will be the proof of two educations for technopreneurial inclination. So that's also significance of two variables towards one. Okay. So chapter 1, background of the study. This study chose to provide learning opportunities via combination of entrep and information technology education. Uh, this will be presenting learning opportunities, especially for students, teachers, and other enthusiasts of combination of the two, the entrep and IT education. This will be hopefully to provide information to many, especially for the ones who are not really much familiar with the combination. I know it's pretty obvious. Technopreneurship is pretty much obvious, having IT knowledge and entrep knowledge. We just have to prove it. So the tendency of course of this topic as well is to prove that, and through that route many can learn. Hopefully there will be more followers of technopreneurship. This is not to uh, really promote indirectly though technopreneurship. So through this route, yes, hopefully many will follow. Okay. Still in chapter 1, statement of the research problem. Main problem is does entrepreneurship and information technology education significantly influence the technopreneurial inclination of the grade 12 students? It means, does the combination really exist? That's the one that we'll be finding out through the use of statistics computation at the later part. And we'll find out that if there's really combination, if there's really significance between the two. I know there is, we just have to prove it. Specific problems. What is the prevailing quality of entrepreneurship education in terms of influencing the 12th graders to be into business in the future? Okay. The entrep education the university is offering, what we need to find out is how effective are they? How effective are they to the students? If the students have learned from the entrep education the university is offering, in order for them to be into business in the future after college, or even probably after high school. But the question is does the university really have an effective entrep education offering? Second specific problem. What is the prevailing quality of information technology education in terms of influencing the 12th graders to be into business in the future? The same goes with, similar with the previous one. The second specific problem is to find out whether the IT students can be into business in the future. Okay. And also, what is the quality the university is offering in IT in order for the students to be potentially into business in the future. Third is what is the current level of technopreneurial inclination of the senior high school students. Um, the current situation, the current status, that's the one we need to find out. That's the third problem that we need to answer. So it's also a challenge for me, but I'm sure we will be able to produce that if we're going to be allowed to continue to the remaining chapters of the thesis. Okay. What recommendations can be made in order to further enhance the entrepreneurship education among the chosen students for the research? The recommendations will be based, which this would mean to determine the recommendations. Determining the recommendations can be done by getting data from the survey, but not the quantitative part, but the qualitative ones. There are some questions there that is answerable by yes or no, and there are some questions where they can leave their remarks. Yes, those will be the basis of recommendations. It will be depending on their preferences. Like, let's say, um, for example, there is this question if they are what are their reactions towards the education that is being offered by the university. So whatever answer are there, that those will be the basis of recommendations. The same goes with the next main problem. What are the recommendations can be made in order to further enhance the information technology education among chosen students for the research? Similar to the previous one, we will be finding out their reactions or their remarks on questions that has blanks for remarks in order to find out the recommendations for the IT education the university is offering. Last is what concrete recommendations can be offered to further enhance the technopreneurial inclination on the group of pupils. Okay. Similar to the IT education and the enter education recommendations, there are some questions there that are answerable by yes or no, and there will be blanks that will be where these students can put their remarks or something like reactions towards technopreneurship. So those will be the basis. Okay, objectives of the study. Yeah. To determine the influence, the main objective is to determine the influence of the and IT education on technopreneurial inclination of the grade level students. Specific objective number 1, to identify prevailing quality of entrepreneurship education in terms of influencing the 12th graders to be into business in the future. The same goes with IT education, to identify prevailing quality of information technology education in terms of influencing the 12th graders to be into business in the future. Next objective is to capture current level of technopreneurial inclination on the senior high school students. For recommendations, objective would be to gather recommendations that can be made in order to further enhance the entrep education among the chosen students for the research. The same goes with the the IT education part. Okay, to gather recommendations that can be made in order to further enhance the information technology education among the chosen students for the research. Again, recommendations will be gathered uh, from reactions or from questions that has blanks, which would contain remarks from the students. Um, last will be last objective would be to gather concrete recommendations that can be made that can be offered to further enhance the technopreneurial inclination on the group of pupils. Okay. Theoretical framework. Okay. The theoretical framework would be, uh, I'm not really sure if you can see it. Okay. The theoretical framework chosen by the researcher would be combination of three bubbles. Um, Combination of the two of the three would be IT knowledge and IT teaching style. So the teacher is expected to teach IT knowledge to students while making use of their teaching style. So whatever style there is, as long as they present or they deliver the IT education they need, will be okay. And then there's another combination, two of the three, which is oh sorry would be, excuse me,